Hello there, my name's Martin Henley. This is the Effective Marketing YouTube channel, and this is episode 4 of Effective Marketing News with the brilliant, the amazing, the astounding, the beautiful, the soon-to-be Daddy Ionuts in the 16th of March. It's Ionut Danifeld. Good morning, Ionut. How are you, bro?
Good morning, Martin. I'm good. I'm starting to enjoy your introduction.
It's
Once
good,
again,
isn't
I'm going to say the same thing that I said also last time. People were going to think that I'm paying you.
Okay, but they can know that I'm not. I am just madly in love with you, brother.
Not judging 2022.
Okay, good. Interesting comment. Okay, so the format is established now. We bring 3 stories each. Do you have 3? Oh, no, before that, you have to have a little brag about the brilliance you've achieved in the last 2 weeks.
Is that the format?
That's the format, yeah. That's what goes on. Because the first time you said I have to brag. Oh, no, the second time you said you had to brag, so you did a little brag. And then last time I gave you the platform to brag, and I'm giving you the platform to brag again. What brilliance have you achieved in the last 2 weeks, Ionut?
Not so much, because it was the Chinese New Year, so everybody was quite a little bit off. I'm speaking in one conference. That's one personal achievement.
Okay, you told us about that. That's coming up in February, is it?
I'm actually, yes, it's one coming in February and another one is on, so I have basically 2 conferences lined up. One is the Martech Summit Asia, and the other one is the Lazada Global Conference.
Wow. Okay, so when are these things and how do people register to hear what you have to say?
Yeah, so the one, I think that you can put it also in the description, but one is the Martech Summit Asia. If you can, people they can basically Google, and it's a free event. And the other one with Lazada, so this one is going to be 22 and 23 of February, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm going to say something good. And the other one is going to be in March. The dates are not fixed, but I have the link from the event page. So that's on the personal side. Work-wise, work, hustle.
Okay, good. Is it going good still?
It's always going good when it's about me and my team.
Good. Excellent. I thought, no, you were going to say, oh, no, it's terrible. The wheels have come off. But, of course, they would never will for you, Ionut. Okay, good. So what do you have in the way of news for us this week? What has caught your eye?
So I have 3 news. I think I have a feeling, my gut feeling is telling me that you're going to have the same one. Meta, which is basically Facebook, erases 251 billion in value, biggest wipeout in history.
Yes.
This one you have also?
Of course, yes. Let's call that the fall of Facebook. I've got 3. I've got kind of as the story unravels. So I've got this because this is a huge told you so. I've been saying this for like a year, and I've been saying this in these conversations for the last 6 weeks. And okay. I'm not, the fall of Facebook. Okay, so that's number 1.
The second one is also regarding Facebook or Meta. Okay. I had a conversation with our Facebook account managers, and they told us like it's Facebook. It's Meta. They're still even confused themselves with the name. But anyway, right. Meta, Zuckerberg told Meta employees to 0 in 1 video because they are against the unprecedented level of competition from TikTok. So yes, for the first time, Zuckerberg actually pronounced the name TikTok, the 6 little letters.
Oh, this is the first time he said it.
Mm.
Okay,
At least this is what was reading everywhere.
All right, so this is your second story.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the third one is from my adoptive country right now, which is Malaysia. But I think that is basically kind of like a big news here in Southeast Asia. AirAsia changes changes the names to capital A to reflect new core business strategy.
Okay.
This one is interesting.
Right. Okay, cool. So my 3 stories are the fall of Facebook.
The fall.
I'm calling it the fall of Facebook, yeah. So I've got 3 or 4 stories, different things that people are saying. I've got LinkedIn data talking about digital marketing skills, top digital marketing skills in 2022. And I've got how Google search understands human language, because we spoke about voice search, didn't we, a few weeks ago? And Google have come out and explained how they understand. And it's absolutely hilarious, I think. So, and then also there's a dead donkey. Do you know a dead donkey news item?
No.
Do you know that phrase? So there used to be a program in the UK called Drop the Dead Donkey. So the dead donkey news item is essentially the last news item on the, like, supposed to be like a feel-good thing at the end of the news, blah, blah, blah. But if something important happens, then that story gets dropped. So, but I know you won't enjoy talking about this, but M&M's have gone woke, and I'm just interested to have a conversation with somebody about that. I don't know if you've seen it.
Eminem got what?
M&M's have gone woke. So,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, it's as ridiculous as it sounds. It really is. It's hilarious also. So if we've got time for the dead donkey thing, then maybe we can talk about that as well at the end. But let's talk, shall we, about the fall of Facebook, because I think this has been coming for a little while, and now it's clearly happening. I mean, the numbers are just obscene, aren't they?
251 billion dollars.
Yes.
It's basically, if you're invested in Forex, it's probably stock on discount price, if you still believe in Facebook or Meta or whatever the hell it's called.
Yes. Okay, so let me show you, because I've got like this thing unfolding, and I think it's kind of interesting. So 200.
You made it work, huh?
What's that?
You made it work. Okay, good.
I made it work. I told you I'd make it work, and I did make it work. Yeah, so here we are, still looking.
And we're getting professional here. Okay.
Yeah, we're getting professional. Okay, so 230 billion Facebook stock plunge brings big losses for Mark Zuckerberg, Meta, and maybe you. Anyone who has stock, that's Devon, has obviously got something to shout about downstairs, I'm afraid. Shares down more than 26%. The first day of trading, blah, blah. Fell 230 billion to a market capitalization of about 661 billion. Blah, blah, blah. So this was the first thing that happened. Facebook is the big loser of the fourth quarter's advertising wars. So this is what prompted it. Revenue came in at 31 billion less. And actually, they didn't make a profit on the month. So first time that their expenses had exceeded their income, which is what they're saying here. This also coincided with 200 million less people per day logging into the service, they're saying. And then what looks to me to be just like a completely stupid knee-jerk reaction is Mark Zuckerberg comes out and says, yeah, we're shifting to short-form video. So
yes,
for anyone...
So that's basically that was my second one regarding the TikTok and using the TikTok and that vision.
So this is one of the largest corporations on the planet showing absolutely zero strategic direction, I think. Because this is just completely a knee-jerk reaction. This just is completely, it's because these other people are doing this cooler thing, we're going to have to do that cooler thing. Do you think? I mean, what do you think? What do you think?
So, what I think that let's dissect a little bit the story. First of all, Facebook is making money based on ads. No question whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
We discussed a couple of weeks ago, and I think that we've been discussing this thing since the moment that I know you, and there is nothing social in social media, right? Because at the moment you're getting bumped with so many ads and is missing a little bit that social interaction. And the age group, the teenagers, were basically moving away because the moms and dads and uncles and aunties were part of the old generation social media, which is Facebook, which is basically me and you.
Yep.
Right. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm cooler. I'm on TikTok. I'm not posting, but I'm actually my favorite social media, actually. Anyway, and the problem with the Facebook is that at the moment in Facebook, Instagram is so much, I would say, so much ads, and the ads are so much targeted, and or sorry, used to be targeted, because now you basically have what we discussed before, zero party data and iOS update and Google updates and yada yada yada. And you're seeing actually companies that are pulling out their money from Facebook, and there were a couple of successful stories, right? So they're basically these big companies that you have from one side companies that are taking the money out from Facebook, and you have some on the other side people that are getting frustrated on the fact that their feed is basically full of ads. So that's one part of the story. The second part of the story is the strategy of Facebook. Facebook was basically acquiring all the time companies, right? Or they were copying it. So they copied stories from Snapchat, they copied reels from TikTok. But when you're copying something, from my point of view, and that's something that I'm saying all the time to my team, or to the founders of the company, a copycat is always, in my opinion, going to be behind you, because it's just going to be a copycat, right?
Yep.
The difference between me and you as a company, if we are going to open a company, is that with Facebook or Google, even if they're copying, they have data and they have users that are actually testing, they're actually using it. But they're still going to be copycats. Now, they are the reason why they dropped is because the ads, the platform itself, and the fact that people are trendy and they tend to forget. Think about MySpace. MySpace was basically the most popular social media channel, and one day users, they decided to basically say, fuck off, I don't want to use it anymore.
Yeah.
Is that going to happen for Facebook? I don't know. But is that going to someone took already first place? Yeah, it happened. And nobody was actually thinking about it.
Yeah. Well, I think this started going wrong. No, it's not 200 million. It's 500,000 a day have stopped logging in every day from the third quarter to the fourth quarter. So I would argue that people are like 500,000 every day is, what's that? That's 5 million every 10 days. It's 1.5 million a month less logins, or less people. So they're saying less people. This went wrong whenever it was in 2014, 2015, when Facebook decided they know better than people what they're interested in. The beauty of Facebook was, I think, like the 20th century publishing swindle, because they had 2 billion contributors writing about what everyone was interested in, which was themselves and their communities, etc., not paying anyone. But when they decided, so this is the start of this stupid commercialization, which I think has gone wrong. So when they decided that they knew better than people what they were interested in, that's when it went wrong. When they introduced these algorithms that decided they're going to promote this story and not that story, and you're only going to see stuff from 5% of your friends, businesses aren't going to be seen essentially unless they pay. This is where it started to go wrong for Facebook. And I think this is going on. Like, I don't use Facebook for anything other than knowing when people's birthdays are. So I get a little notification in the morning. I go in, I wish everyone a happy birthday, and then I'm done with Facebook for the day. I've got no interest in it whatsoever. And I think this is the problem. I think they've commercialized it in completely the wrong way. That's what I think.
I think that listen, in the end of the day, a company is meant, it's opening for the sake of making money, right? Let's not forget on the fact that, once again, Facebook main revenue stream is basically ads. Probably 99.9% is Facebook ads.
Right.
or ads in general. The fact that you're showing so many ads to the users, to the consumers, they feel fed up. And most probably the same thing is going to happen to TikTok. The same thing is happening also with YouTube. For example, me, I'm not opening YouTube because I fucking hate it. If I'm opening it on my mobile, I'm having 3 ads now, not only one. I have 3 that are running, and I'm watching 2 minutes, and after this, bam, another ad. But besides ads, another problem that Facebook is having, and one thing why I think that they lost so much capital and people are actually disconnecting and moving to other platforms, is based on the fact that privacy. Facebook doesn't have the best reputation when it's coming to privacy, and we all know the scandals here and there, right?
Yeah.
So
I think you're right. I think you're right. Businesses exist to make money, but what we're seeing is that businesses will only continue to exist if they offer value to their customers. So Facebook's customers are the advertisers, but their product is essentially the audiences. Now, they're not offering value to the audiences because they're seeing too many ads and they're not seeing enough of the information that they're interested in. And so this is at the very core, the proposition has gone away. So all this huge insight, all this huge data that they've managed to gather is worth absolutely nothing because essentially they've missold it. So if there is no audience, there is no advertisers, the business fails, you know?
Exactly, right. But I think because your channel is named Effective Marketing, the question that is coming back is what you as a advertiser or a company or a marketer you're actually going to do when you're actually seeing this news, because you need to stay agile, right? Whatever is COVID, whatever it's third-party data, whatever it's an update from iOS, whatever it's an update from Android, whatever it's an update on the platform, you still need to be agile. I can tell you what, for example, is happening in our company, right? Still the main platform of advertising and revenue stream is Meta as the entire company, wherever is Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
But I'm getting a little bit also back to the roots, and something that we discussed previously, going back to the roots, which is basically organic search, affiliation, TikTok, trying new different things, going back a little. Cinema, right? You used to do cinema. Email marketing is starting to play a really big role, even if you have the updates from iOS, right? So I think that what I would do, and my advice to anyone that is in this space or is a business owner or is a marketer, don't put your eggs in only one basket. Don't think that, okay, Facebook is the only revenue stream for me or the only platform that I need to advertise. You need to be agile and you need to be versatile. You need to go on Google Ads, you need to do affiliation, you need to do influencers, you need to do SEO, you need to do whatever other channels, marketplaces, and so on.
Yeah, I think 100%, because I think Facebook essentially had the keys to the kingdom for whatever it has been, 10 years, you know, and they were providing a really valuable service to advertisers. But now you have to think that maybe there is, like, with all of these privacy suits going down all the time, maybe, and all of this censorship going on, so maybe there is a reputational risk to advertising on Facebook because Facebook is developing such a bad reputation.
True.
Yeah.
I cannot deny. And I think that is a really smart thing that you're actually saying. I mean, for a smaller company, there is no threat whatsoever. But of course, if you're working for another company, which is like a really big company, I don't know, I cannot name one, for example, Adidas, there is something that you need to take in consideration. The channel that you're actually putting your message is really important for your brand, right? So you need to be quite aware of all of it. Yeah, you need to be careful.
Aware for sure. And the thing is, I think they over-egged the product as well. Like, it was only ever display advertising. It was only ever advertising that appears alongside the
column. The right
content.
column.
Yeah. So it was never what they purported it to be. I mean, it was super targeted, but it wasn't an amazing platform for delivering your message. It wasn't an amazing platform for identifying people who actually had an interest in your product or service. You know, it was, for me, it was only ever display advertising, and I suppose some of the video advertising on Instagram was maybe a little bit more kind of intrusive, a little bit more disruptive, but it was only ever really display advertising for me. So I think they always over-egged it, and I think 100% they've mismanaged it, and I think that's now why they're in trouble. And if they have 500,000 less people per day logging in, I don't know how many people they had logging in.
So
they're claiming 2 billion.
Can I share my screen? I don't know if it's working or not.
You can share your screen, yeah. I don't know if I will be able to see us.
Do you see my screen?
I can see it in place of you. So if we go to you full, no, we're not seeing it.
Okay, well, let's do like this. I was reading also a really interesting news.
What's the domain? I can put it up here.
Search for Meta warns that it may shut down in Europe, or Facebook may shut down in Europe. So that was something that it was really scary also, and it came kind of like the entire week for me when I was reading about news. It was like kind of like a fold of news regarding Facebook. This guy this Zuckerberg cannot sleep at night. So it was the stock, and after this it was the part that we discussed regarding the exactly. It was the part that we discussed regarding TikTok, and the first time that he used the name of TikTok. And after this, there was the GDPR issue. So basically with GDPR, for the people that we don't know, is basically the data privacy policy in Europe. That means that the data of European Union members or countries, they should stay in Europe, in Europe servers. But Facebook cannot comply with that, and I'm sure that there are other companies. So the idea behind is that I don't think it's close to impossible to happen, but the fact that people now is saying that actually the biggest title is saying that Meta warns that it may shut down in Facebook and Instagram in Europe over data transfer dispute is quite scary for an investor of Facebook in the end of the day, and for an advertiser, right?
Well, Europe has to be a big chunk of their market. I mean, there's 300 million people live in Europe. It's got to be.
Yeah, it's the second biggest market. It's the second biggest market.
Yeah. So look at this. This is hilarious. He says, after I was hacked, I have lived without Facebook and Twitter for 4 years, and life has been fantastic. Germany's new economy minister, Robert Habeck, told reporters during a meeting in Paris on Monday. You know, this is the truth. Like, and this was my issue with the social dilemma thing, is that they were over egging the importance of these things. They're not as intrusive. They're not as necessary. They're not as influential as they were having it believe. And they're certainly not addictive, because if you've got a good reason not to use these things, you will stop using them, and you won't miss them. Now, I'm not saying they're not sticky. I'm not saying that there's not. And TikTok for me, and Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, I think, take up too much of my time at the moment. But essentially, these things could go away. It's not going to make a material difference to anyone's life, you know. So, yeah. So I think, you know, I spoke. I think it was a month ago. We did the triple threat. So one of them was, the first one was government regulation, which is what we're seeing here. The second one was doing a poor job for advertisers, which is what we're seeing with the crash. And the third one was people not wanting to work there anymore. So I think it's coming around, is what I think. I think maybe we are seeing the demise of Facebook. And these are the people who are supposed to be leading into the brave new world of the metaverse, you know, and it's clearly they're not able to do, like, clearly they're not able to make money out of having reams and reams of data on virtually every single person on the planet. They can't make money out of that, so how are they going to make money out of the metaverse? I don't know. I'm not unhappy to see them go, I'll be honest with you. And the other thing is, I didn't want to put this in as a story, but what we're also seeing here is TikTok doubles share of ad spend, and there's been an ad tech consolidation, and Hollywood agencies are betting big on TikTok talent as they seek to woo Gen Z audiences or Gen Z audiences. So actually, it's happening bad for Facebook at the moment, and I'm not sad to see it go. I'll be honest with you, because I don't think it's adding value to the world.
It's going to be really curious what is going to happen. Also, if you're saying that is going to go away, what's going to happen with all of these people, all of the marketers that are actually Facebook experts? What's going to happen?
They'll segue to TikTok in a second. What is being a Facebook advertising expert? The expertise that they had was about how to mine and manipulate the data. That's already gone. Like, their specialization is gone. What are they specialists in now already?
But there is a problem. You need to be aware about something. In TikTok, for example, it's actually more on the top funnel, more on the part of the awareness and landing page views, rather than actually conversion for an e-commerce company. They didn't.
Yeah, but
they didn't manage to, or at least I couldn't find it. I mean, like, I'm trying this for a year now to understand how the hell can I connect my business manager, TikTok business manager, with my TikTok account.
Yeah.
I messaged them they have help, chat support, whatever, and they told me that they're going to put me in contact with an account manager, and they said yes, and I'm going to receive a call. I didn't receive jack shit, and that's a reality also through TikTok.
Yeah.
And what is still amazing about Facebook compared with TikTok, and I'm really hoping that TikTok is going to fix that, is the part of, at least for me as a advertiser, also for the mid and bottom funnel, which means mid funnel means add to cart, and bottom funnel means conversion, right?
Yeah.
You see where I'm going?
Yeah, well, I do, but this is what I'm saying. Unless you're doing messenger advertising, are you on Facebook?
I'm doing messenger advertising, but it's really freaking expensive for the past year.
You see, so this is what I'm saying about Facebook only ever really being display advertising. For me, it's only really about awareness. The click-through rates have never been incredible, and essentially what you're doing is you're dropping in a display ad. That's all. So for me, I think also, you might say it's different from that. It's been a while since I've done it, but it's not a huge response-led thing.
I tend to contradict you for a reason, because it depends of the industry and the product that you're doing, right? If you're an e-commerce company, you're always focusing on ROS. I'm putting $1, how many dollars I'm getting back? The return of ad spend.
Yeah.
Right? Of course, you need to build that top funnel from top to bottom, like awareness, mid, add to cart, conversion, and maybe you want to go one step further, retargeting or remarketing, however you want to call it, right? If you're a company that is doing, for example, Mercedes, for Mercedes, they're always going to be brand awareness. They don't care about what you're saying. That's display advertising, the one that you said, right?
Yeah.
For you and me, or you and me, when I say like a smaller e-commerce company, it's really important that return to ad spend. I'm always going to look. That's something that I'm saying to my team is that, okay, I gave you a budget of, $100,000. How much money did you brought back?
Yeah.
Because I need to track conversions. And
so it is converting. So it is adding value. So What I would say is I think they need to be very, very careful going forward, and just saying, okay, we're going to become a short video company isn't being very careful. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, that seems to me to be a knee-jerk reaction. Like, this platform that's just offering short videos is doing better for us, so we're going to become that thing. That isn't the issue for Facebook. Isn't the, I mean, it's the audience. So they're losing audience, and it's value for advertisers. You know, that's their core business. That's what they need to get to, and they need to find a way to work that out, I would say.
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, like, I'm really curious. I mean, like, for example, me, I'm not a huge fan of Reels. I don't know. It didn't stick to me. I mean, like, it's
What's the difference? What's the difference between a reel and TikTok?
specifically no difference whatsoever. Where is a difference, it's the content or the
Right.
content creators
Yes.
and the algorithm that you're having,
Yes.
and zero ads.
Yes.
This is basically. But I think on Reels you also don't have ads. Maybe I'm mistaken, but you don't have ads. Or you do because you can advertise from Business Manager, right? So technicality, there is no difference whatsoever. Where is the power is in the content creator, because it's a social media, it's a 2.0, web 2.0, right? The content is generated by the user generated content, not by the platform itself.
I see. Okay. Okay, so the thing is, they're also, I mean, I'm not sure if it's not really pertinent, but it's just, I think these big platforms are going to struggle. Like, and I've been saying this for a while. So you've seen that they're trying to cancel Joe Rogan. So apparently Joe Rogan has now been offered $100 million to go to Rumble and not be censored. So I think we're going to see, which we haven't seen for a long time, I think we're going to see some movement at the level of these huge corporate platforms. I think YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I think that we're going to see some challenges now, and I think it's going to be much more interesting and exciting. And even like you say, that the proposition isn't as good, but the pure value sometimes overtakes it, where, you know, you are just getting many, many more views on TikTok. So and like you say, you're diversifying away from Facebook already, even though it's a huge part of what goes on, because you're anticipating it. And it doesn't take too much of that. You know, if you take 20% of your budget away, and everyone takes 20% of their budget away, that's billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars in turnover and market valuation for Facebook. So I think the bigger you are, the harder you fall, you know, and I think that's what I think. I think these platforms are going to see some challenges.
Yeah, true.
Good. Okay, good. Shall we go? I'll have to go to another story because you've only got one left. So my second story is, let's go LinkedIn. So LinkedIn don't trust LinkedIn with much, but they clearly know what jobs are being advertised. So they are saying new LinkedIn data shows the top digital marketing skills currently in high demand. The reason I've picked this story up is because I was really thinking, like, what's going to be useful for anyone who might be watching this, and their careers obviously are of interest to them. So they're saying, as the pandemic accelerated our industry shift to virtual everything, it also accelerated the demand for marketers in digital roles. Digital marketing specialists are most in demand, whilst the media coordinator role is experiencing the fastest growth. So maybe this ties in. They quite often do. I don't know what this. I look at marketing occupations represented in NAMER. I don't know what NAMER is, but here they are saying basically it's becoming more segmented. While many marketers list themselves as digital marketing specialists, recruiters are currently having trouble finding marketers with skills in digital strategy, omniture, link building, search advertising, and off-page SEO. So it looks like the role is becoming more diversified, organic. More specialists.
Yeah, more specialists and more focus on the organic.
Yes.
Traffic.
What do we think about this? I did a webinar yesterday for a company in the UK who are offering digital marketing courses. I think, how do we feel about the state of our industry, man? I think there's a real opportunity for people in digital marketing right now. That's how I kind of feel.
I think there is an opportunity to basically to learn everything now online, and to the pandemic accelerated work from home and freelancing, and now you can make a buck from staying in Botswana and work for a company in France if
Yes.
you're good in, right? Um,
Yeah, right. I don't know why Botswana and France.
I don't
Right.
know. I first name that came to my mind,
Yeah.
right? But the idea behind is that you're seeing a little bit more niche marketers. I always appreciated the people. I mean, like you and me probably were coming from a generation that even there are some years where taking is taking us apart, but we're coming, I think, from a generation that our career shifted a little bit more on the marketing generalist. You know a little bit of SEO, you know a little bit of Facebook, you know a
Yeah.
little bit of Google, you need to know a little bit of YouTube, you know also how to do a little bit, I don't know what, right? Now the shift and what I'm seeing in this new generation, I missed it last time when we were talking. I said Generation Z and you contradict me. Or no, I said millennials or what the hell, I don't remember.
I think you said Generation Y. I'm
Generation Y,
Generation
yeah.
Y, and the new ones are Generation Z, and in
Yeah, so
between
the
was the
generation,
millennials.
yeah. So the fucking new generation that is coming now, like the ones that are graduating and even a little bit before that, they're a little bit more focused. And I can tell you what is happening in the marketing when you're hiring. You're actually paying more for someone that is um, a specific, how you call it, like an expert in a specific
Niche.
vertical, right?
Yes.
Niche, right?
Yes.
If you're Facebook ads expert or Google ads expert, or you're, for example, an affiliator marketer, you're paying more money than someone that is a generalist, right? And it's quite interesting, and I feel that that should be the direction, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, I think like the jobs that they've got listed here are
What are the
um,
jobs?
the jobs are, while many marketers list themselves as digital marketing specialists, recruiters are currently having trouble finding marketers with skills in digital strategy, omniture,
Hmm.
link building, search advertising, and off-page SEO. So for me, like you're right, we are much more generalists, and we are suited much more to a role in digital marketing management or marketing management, which is why you're a CMO. So
Yeah, yeah.
our skills refer to like knowing a little bit about everything, this digital strategy thing. Omniture is, I think, I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's an analytics tool. Link building and off-page SEO, I don't really understand what the difference is between those two things. And search advertising is clearly PPC on the search engines. So,
Omniture is
well,
Omniture is the web analytics acquired by Adobe.
okay, right.
It's
So
Adobe
yeah,
Analytics.
no, so yeah, so it is becoming more specific, but also more general. So they need overseers, and then they need people specifically in these areas. So interestingly, not social media. Interestingly, not email marketing. Interestingly, not display advertising. So I think, is the market not seeing value in those things, or is it already overpopulated with people with those skills? I don't know.
It's there are people that are basically delivering results from a perspective of a data, right? I mean, like every single position that you have there, it's has a connection with the data. I think that the power is going to be in the data. And I think once again we discussed this a while ago. You need to understand the data. You're not a marketer if you're not going to understand the data. And social media nowadays, you have all of these tools which are called uh, Copy AI or Jarvis AI. I don't know if you know about them. and
No.
they're basically AI tools that is generating social media content. Is it
Right.
on that level of social media person like a human touch? Probably no. But the idea behind, if you're a company, you can pass away paying $200 per month and having your AI doing your job as a social media expert,
Yeah, yeah.
and you
Yeah.
just polish it a little bit.
Yeah,
I believe that social media roles are going to be. That's my. I'm a huge nerd when it's coming about tools in general and
automation.
automation automation of your processes,
Right.
right? So if I have a tool that is writing my social media content and I don't need to do it from A to Z, but I'm basically generating enough interaction and I'm just polishing it a little bit there, here and there,
Yeah.
why should I have in my company a social media expert when I basically put some keywords and it's generating automatically? So check that out. One is called Copy AI, can do also blogging, can do also landing page content, can do anything that you think related of content. And the other one that is probably the number one in the industry is Jarvis AI.
JAVISAI.
Yeah, like the robot from, like, the artificial intelligence from Iron Man.
Jarvis AI. Okay, so the reason is because these tools produce absolute junk. I'm sorry. It's like you can't replace a human writer. You can't. I mean, you
You
might be able
can.
to fool the search engines like that, but really, honestly, I don't believe AI can produce. I mean, I'm going to have a look at these things. I don't believe AI, and I don't want to believe that AI can produce interesting, compelling, entertaining copy. I don't
Listen,
want to
I'm not
produce. I
saying,
don't want to believe it.
yeah, listen, I'm not saying that they are on that level, and I denied from the first second, and I said from the first second that they're not on that level. What I'm saying is that it's a really long way, but I'm saying that they're good enough for a startup or a medium company that doesn't have a budget to hire a social media expert to basically to use one of these tools. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I don't think you're replacing the. I'm signing up for this thing as we speak. I don't think you're replacing the human skill. I think you might be replacing. I mean, this is where content for content's sake has gone to. You know, it's frightening. And I actually interviewed someone on the talk marketing thing. He's providing AI type services and about AI, and it's not where people. It's not where it needs to be. I mean, I hope, like, so for example, we spoke about there were AI, like, so you could say to your assistant on your phone, if it's Alexa or whatever it might be on Apple, Siri,
Yeah.
you could say, "Oh, book me an appointment at the hairdresser's," and it will phone and
Yeah.
actually have the conversation with them. So I thought
Yeah.
immediately this has application clearly for cold calling, but immediately they
Mhm.
produce an AI for cold calling. They will, not an AI, let's say an automated cold calling service. They will produce an automated call answering service, and it will just be bots talking to bots, which is what goes on. So if you have bots creating your content, they'll produce bots, which already there are bots which consume your content. And so the whole thing is just a nonsense, I think. I think something different. I don't know, but I'm guessing if I look at this list, it feels to me like businesses aren't investing so much in social media anymore because maybe they've seen it's top of funnel type stuff. Where you get your results is you get your results um, in these areas: search engine optimization, paid
Exactly.
clicks, and having a strong
So that's another
strategy.
reason. Yeah, so that's another reason. I mean, like, the reach on all of this social media platform. My God, we are coming back on Meta and Facebook and so all of this
Yeah,
platform. The reach organically is
gone.
0. The gun
Yeah.
is 0.0 something, right?
Yes.
So I'm putting so much effort into basically to creating a content, like a
Yep.
piece of piece, right? I'm having a designer, I'm having a social media person, so I basically have two people that are producing one piece of content, and probably I have a page of 100,000, and I have only 200 people that are viewing it, and probably like 5 people that are clicking it. So why the fuck should I invest so much money in a social media person? Why should
Yes.
I invest so much money in having pay on someone on my payroll? And all of these numbers, like likes, like Facebook likes, Instagram followers, they're starting to be a little bit of a vanity number. What I mean by a vanity number, I mean like people that don't care so much about
People don't
likes
care
and
so
Facebook.
much. So they've messed with the proposition. The proposition was, here was a platform for you to talk to people. And actually, you're talking to far fewer people. So this swindle that I'm saying, they had 2 billion contributors all contributing for free. People are getting much less return for contributing, individuals and businesses, and so they don't. So there is less audience, so there is less advertisers, and so there is, and so on and so on. So I don't know. It looks to me a little bit like that. Like, actually, it doesn't matter how poor your content is. If you're prepared to put money on it, it will get the views. So maybe you don't have to invest so much creativity in and quality to have that. You just fire out your adverts and you pay for it, and yeah. So that was interesting for me. So digital marketing, either specialize in knowing something about everything, or specialize in the really response direct type stuff, SEO, ads, and analytics. If you want a career in digital marketing, that's the way it looks to me right now.
Yeah, data.
Good. Cool. Where are we? Story number 3 is your story about something's happening in Malaysia. Somebody changed an A. Is this really news, Ionut?
It is news because it's a trend that is happening. AirAsia. Do you know? Come on.
What's the
At least
headline? Can we find this and put it on the screen?
AirAsia changed the name to capital A.
Tell us about it then, Ionut.
So AirAsia, basically the number one low-cost company in Asia, basically it is changing the name to capital A in order to bet for the new core business, which is a little bit more because we are okay. So AirAsia Group has finalized the name changing on its list holding company to capital A to reflect the growing portfolio of travel and lifestyle business. So what basically is happening, AirAsia is no longer a airline company because they are not flying for the last 2 years. And they are basically the strategy for AirAsia or capital A now. They are basically going a little bit more on a super app side. So they are launching food, they are launching, and that's valid also for all of the countries. Why are you laughing?
Because when you said this at the beginning, I thought you were saying that they'd put capital A in their name. So maybe AirAsia had lowercase a's originally, and now they've changed it to capital. Oh, okay. So it's a completely different story than what I was expecting. I was expecting a very small rebrand story. And okay,
it's not. It's not, and it's huge a little bit from the trend of how you're seeing all of this. At least this is how I'm seeing it from the how big it is from a perspective of like how they are transforming into a super app, and the competition from Grab and the competition from Gojek in Indonesia, or the competition from Alibaba and all of these companies, and the idea behind of how they are acquiring and listing companies and creating new verticals of the business. I mean, this is what I was saying, that in the pandemic they launched the food service, they launched the ride service to compete with Grab. Now you have a possibility to actually to advertise on their platform, on their cars as an advertiser, because they are creating synergies with other companies in order to do offline marketing. Big Pay is a huge underdog when it's coming about advertising. What basically Big Pay is, it's their paying system. It's like Grab Pay or Gojek Pay. It's their online paying system where you're paying for all of the services, and you as an advertiser can actually use their loyalty points on your website. So you have AirAsia from one side with their customers, but they can use Big Pay in your website to actually make a purchase. So you're flooding a new list of audience to your website. You see where I'm going? Everything is fucking interconnected.
Everything is interconnected. So this is a diversification and a conglomeration. And yeah, I mean, it feels this is also quite frightening. And I had this conversation on the Talk Marketing thing recently as well, where it really is becoming small businesses versus the corporations. So there are an ever smaller number of corporations producing everything. It's frightening. Do you think it's frightening? Do you think there's opportunity in this? What do you think then? What is the actual effect of this?
I think that there is opportunity. Depends for who there is an opportunity for. We are working, for example, in Trapo, we are working with AirAsia.
Okay.
So we are working with them for AirAsia rides. We are working with them with Big Pay, and what I really like about, for example, Tony Fernandez is the CEO of co-founder of AirAsia. Is a guy that is really, for example, for me, really fascinating. He basically took this company, bought it for $1, which I'm talking about AirAsia. No expertise whatsoever in the airline industry. Massive branding. Everybody knows the red of AirAsia. Completely shifted the business during the pandemic because they basically launched the AirAsia ride and the food demand. Creating companies, their strategy is basically to acquire more companies. That is why I wanted to arrive here. So there are not so many small companies, but with small companies, they have a possibility to basically be acquired by bigger companies if you want to sell, right? Because in the end of the day, I would say, I stick my hand in fire, but I would say 90% of the online businesses or businesses, they want to basically to be acquired by other companies. So for example, every single service on AirAsia it's on the back of a company that they acquired. AirAsia Ride used to be a company, rides company that they acquired it, and they're basically growing. And it's quite fascinating how fast they're managing to actually to launch a company in a corporate environment. And you as an advertiser or or an owner or a marketer, it's coming back to what I said before, find synergies and partnerships with other companies.
Yeah, because I suppose the temptation is to think that you can't become a corporation anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a closed shop. So I suppose it's interesting. So this guy, Tony Fernandez, I'm sure he was pretty well resourced, even though he might have only bought this for $1. You know, I'm sure.
He used to work in, what's the name of Sony, in the music industry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Search for him. It's a really quite fascinating story about him.
Okay, cool. I will definitely look at that. So that's kind of a good news story, isn't it? About how you can actually compete with these powerhouses. It may not be the closed shop that we think it is.
Yes.
Cool. Nice story. Which brings us then to my last story, which I think is hilarious. This is the story. No, that's copy AI. That was your story. How Google... This is hilarious. How Google search understands human language. So Google explains how its AI systems work to understand human language and return relevant search results. Google searches are capable of understanding human language for the assistance of multiple AI models that all work together to find the most relevant results. Information about how these AI models work is explained in simple terms by Pandu Nayak, Google's vice president of search, in a new article on the company's official blog. Nayak demystifies the following AI models, which play a major role in how Google returns search results. So the AI models are Rank Brain, Neural Matching, BERT, and MUM. Neither of these models work alone. If there were two, it would be neither. It should be none of these models work alone. They help each other out by performing different tasks to understand queries and match them to content searchers are looking for. Here are the key takeaways from Google's behind-the-scenes look at what its AI models do and how it translates into better results for searches. So rank brain, blah, 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 blah. Here's a quote from Nyack. For example, if you search for what's the title of the consumer at the highest level of a food chain, our systems learn from seeing those words on various pages that the concept of a food chain may have to do with animals and not human consumers. By understanding and matching these words to their related concepts, Rank Brain understands that you're looking for what's commonly referred to as an apex predator. So the thing that amuses me, astounds me, is that this guy, the VP of search at Google, thinks that people are searching for what's the title of the consumer at the highest level of a food chain.
You're saying that the search phrase is really sophisticated?
I'm saying that nobody ever searched for this. That's what I'm saying. Is like, this is like clearly way too complicated. A search term. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it's super, super long tail, apart from anything else. Like, you've spent enough time doing keyword research. I've spent enough time doing keyword research to say that like 14 word phrases don't get searched for. Specifically this. What's the title of the consumer at the highest level? So this is the issue, is that Google is employing these absolute geeks who are so clever that they are completely stupid. This guy is the VP of search at Google. Why is he saying if you search for, it's a fantasy, it will never happen? And basically that's what this whole article is. They've got these 4 things, and I can't understand the difference between them all, but they are using all of them to understand how people speak. And clearly they're not understanding how people speak, because this guy Nyack doesn't know how people speak. He doesn't even know how people search. And he is the VP of search at Google. So here's his second example. Take the search insights how to manage a green. Now that's an interesting phrase, because I imagined that they might be referring to like managing golf greens in a golf course, but this is.
I don't know what.
What's that?
I honestly don't understand what the hell means by that search.
No, also would never be searched for. I guarantee you this was never searched for once. Actually, what it refers to is how you manage a member of staff who has green politics, I think. It's just insane. So anyone who thinks that there is any rhyme or reason going on at Google in terms of these algorithms, here's the third example. Can you get medicine for someone pharmacy? These aren't... I just think it's hilarious. That the Google are lauded as the most insightful, clever, whatever company on the planet, and they've sent out their vice president of search to talk absolute shit about how the search engines understand language when he doesn't even understand search, clearly doesn't understand search. Don't you think it's hilarious?
Can you scroll down a little bit on the BERT one?
The BERT one?
Yeah.
BERT. BERT was first introduced in 2019, is now used in all queries. It's designed to accomplish 2 things: retrieve relevant content and rank it. Now, the thing is, all 4 of these are designed to do 2 things, which is retrieve relevant content and rank it. Because that's what Google does, is retrieve relevant content and rank. Do you know what I mean? It's idiocy. Anyway, BERT can understand how words relate to each other when used in a particular sequence, which ensures important words aren't left out of a query. This complex understanding of language allows BERT to rank web content for relevance faster than other AI methods. For example, if you search for, can you get medicine for someone, pharmacy, Bert understands that you're trying to figure out if you can pick up medicine for someone else. Before Bert, we took that short proposition for granted, mostly sharing results about how to fill a prescription. Thanks to Bert, we understand that even small words can have big meanings. What on earth are they talking about?
For me, it's quite curious that the example, I don't know how you're doing a search on Google, but for example, when I'm doing a search of Google, I'm not using you for, I'm basically, if I would do the same search, medicine, someone else, it's basically 3 words. It's not exactly how you're speaking.
Yeah, I think if I was doing this search, and it is what they're saying it is, it's about getting it for someone else, it would be collect someone else's prescription. And it's not can I, like it's never can I, like am I allowed to, am I capable of? It would be like, so if it was a search for, I don't know, how to learn search engine optimization. Do you know what I mean? It would, so these clearly, and he is the VP for search at Google, and basically they're talking about the difference between these 4 things. But what they're all supposed to do is collect and rank search results. I just thought this was hilarious. I just think this is absolutely hilarious. It's like this guy clearly knows nothing about search.
He probably doesn't know how humans are speaking, but that's another thing.
Especially when he is addressing how his systems understands how people speak. How Google search understands human language. The guy doesn't understand human language. Don't you think this is hilarious?
It's hilarious on the way that I think that you as a marketer, you basically need to kind of like move with the trend and the ranking. I mean, like SEO, it's all the time about changing things according to the algorithm, and you're going to find out later so you're going to find out after the algorithm is basically published. I think that you need to take some learnings. I think that you can do some A/B testing in that one. I fucking don't know. I mean, like, it's hilarious that the language is not human enough.
It's nothing like human enough. He has access to every search that has ever been made. Why didn't he just go and do some keyword research? And so, like, here's a search that people do, and then people will be, oh, like, well, that's at least relevant to what's going on in the world. Insights how to manage a green. What on earth?
I don't know what that means, to be honest.
Okay, let's take that search, because we can, and do that search, and see how earth green can show up in your management style. The Earth Green Manager. A guide to the 4 colors that changed my life with insights. Insights discovery color energies. There are 898 million results for the search insights how to manage a green. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I don't. I give up. This is insane. Like the very fundamental principle of search is be the thing that people are looking for. See the thing that people are looking for and be the thing that people are looking for. And this guy doesn't seem to even know that. It's insane. Yeah, it's insane. Okay, it's insane. I mean, the other insanity, can we do this very quickly, is about M&M's going
I want to do it really quickly regarding M&M. I want to know what's M&M and we can wrap it up.
Okay, so M&M's have come out and they've put less sexy shoes on the female M&M's. They dress them up as characters.
I was thinking that you want to say Eminem.
No, M&M's the chocolate.
Oh my God.
So they've got these characters, and now, M&M's go woke. There you go. M&M candy are now woke, apparently. So they've got an anxious one. Like, here's the characters. They've got less sexy boots. They've got more characters. They are leaving us all, have redesigned, leaving us all completely baffled. There's an anxious one. So now the whatever color it is, the green one I think has anxiety. They're making to create a world where everyone feels they belong and society is inclusive. Yeah. So I mean, the question I have for you is: does politics play such a huge part in our lives that it now needs to be included? Look, so here is the before and after. Oh yeah, so this one before was a little bit quirky. Now he's anxious. This one before was clearly quite assertive, and now is, I don't know, what is that?
No, it's the one from the right. That one.
This one is the one from the right.
Yeah.
Okay, so here assertive, here a little bit passive aggressive, maybe. It's insane, man. Oh, and the thing here about is this green? I'm colorblind. But she now has flat shoes rather than sexy boots. Yo, brother, this is where we are in the world. I feel like we did a good job this week covering the marketing news.
Yeah, the world is a beautiful place. The marketplace is a more beautiful place after we read all of this news.
Yes, good. All right, brother. Anything else you want to say?
Long live and prosper.
Live long and prosper. Okay, you live long and prosper. I will see you in 2 weeks, but is it not clashing now with your conference presentation?
We should wait and see.
Okay, so maybe we need to do our thing a little bit earlier if it does clash. That would be good, rather than later, because then it can still go.
I'm going to let you know on Messenger, Facebook Meta Messenger.
Okay, good. Oh, because that's the only other thing I use Meta for is to speak to you. Why don't I have your WhatsApp number? Why are we speaking on Messenger still?
WhatsApp is still Meta.
Oh, it is, yeah. Oh, yeah. So WhatsApp, I use that extensively. So I am. They are still offering value to the world.
Or you can be like a real marketer and you can buy this Apple phone. It's called the iPhone. What is it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, my mum's got one of those.
And it's a beautiful. The ecosystem is amazing.
No, thank you, brother. I'm good. I've had my Google Pixel 3A for 3 years nearly. In April, it will be 3 years. And apart from the fact I play too much chess on it, it's got squares burnt onto the screen. It's still serving me beautifully. Amazing. Okay, brother. I love you, man.
Good.
All right, we'll speak to you in a couple of weeks' time. But remember, earlier is better than later. So yes. If we do have to change it, if we can change it earlier, that would work best for me. And send me the links for where you are. I'll put them in the description because people might want to come and see you speaking.
Absolutely, will do.
How long is the talk? What is the subject of the talk?
One is about influencer marketing, and the one on the marketing, MarkTech Summit, and the other one on Lazada is about how a Malaysian brand became number one on the Southeast Asia.
Fantastic. Excellent. All right. Good luck with those. Maybe I will also come and watch. But send the link so I can include them in the description.
Will do.
Okay, brother.
Thank
Love you, man. Thanks for your time.
Bye.
Peace out. Bye.